Tim, let's talk about Alabama. Obviously, Tua's injured. Do you think they should rest him this week? What would you do if you were Nick Saban?
Well, I've heard good things about Tua this week in practice. I think his knee is getting better and he's getting more comfortable with it. What I would do and how I'd handle the situation is I would see how he looks in warm-ups and see how he starts the beginning of the game, but also knowing that you have Jalen Hurts, who's probably the second best quarterback in the SEC, and he's gotten so much better and he's playing outstanding right now. So if you do feel like Tua's not himself or he's limping, get him out of the game quick, get Jalen in there, and your offense still won't miss a beat. I think that's a luxury that Nick Saban has, and I don't think he's really hesitant on using it as well because he's been able to play Jalen in every game this year.
Tim, I want to veer left on this subject and just generically go through this with you. I'm looking at college football right now, and I got to tell you, I love Alabama. I see how dominant they are. I don't know how great it's been for college football this season. It's somewhat compromised to some degree. They're so dominant. It's like, my goodness. As a guy that loves and obviously has shined in the sport of college football, talk to me about what you think about this season overall and how it's been in terms of comparing it to what college football is usually like.
Well, I do think that Alabama's greatness over the course of the last 10 years and their dominance, especially this year, takes away a little bit from the excitement, the anticipation, and really the whole thought of who's in. Because we kind of already put Alabama in at #1, and everybody else is after it. And every time I'm all over the country and people say, who do you got winning the championship? I say Alabama. Because who else are you going to pick until someone shows you and they prove it? So I think it does take away a little bit from the excitement, but at the same point, I'm someone that appreciates greatness. So I appreciate what Nick Saban has done, what he's been able to sustain from Michigan State to LSU and for the last 10 years at Alabama. So I guess I kind of see it both ways. But for college football, I think it hurts it a little bit.
Nick Saban, of course, the gold standard in college football coaching, I would argue, all time, Tim. But let's talk about another supposedly blue-chip coach who's supposed to be an elite coach in Jim Harbaugh, who all of a sudden hasn't looked so bad very recently. Got Michigan State right now. How much pressure is there on him to make the playoff?
I think there's a lot of pressure on him to make the playoff, but more than anything, I think there's pressure on him to win a rivalry game. A lot of people built up last week against Wisconsin, but honestly, it didn't mean that much to me because Wisconsin was a team that lost at home to BYU. So I don't give that much credibility. This week, I'm going to give a little bit more because he's 0-4 his time against ranked teams on the road at Michigan. Now he gets an opportunity to play a rival, which he's only 1-5 against at Michigan. So this is a statement. If he can dominate against Michigan State, a team that he's had a tough record against, he hasn't won a ranked road game, this is where they can make a little bit of a statement. Because to me, Wisconsin wasn't a statement at all. That was just a game you need to win, and they did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, this one will tell us a lot. I want to get to another hot topic this week, Tim, and that's Nick Bosa. Obviously, leaving Ohio State, rehab his injury, entering the draft. Talk to me about that decision and also how special this kid is.
Well, I think he's special. He's loved at Ohio State. I was talking to their strength coach this morning, Mickey Mariotti, who's probably the best strength coach in the country. He's been doing it forever, and he loves this kid. He almost got teary talking about him. His work ethic, his ability to dominate on the field, how much his teammates love him. And this is a really tough situation because he's got a severe injury, and he would probably be out till early December healing from it. And, on one side, you can say, you know what, if he waits and he goes and trains, he probably makes, $20 to $30 million, and that's amazing. But at the same point, when you're 50 years old and you look back, aren't you going to regret it a little bit to say, you know what, my guys went to the playoff and they played Alabama in the championship. I could have been with them, but I was more worried about the money. Listen, your family's already made however many million. You're probably still going to make that. And I get that. You want to be safe and keep your body. And I can see both sides. And, I get where he's coming from. But at the same point, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You got a team that has a chance to win a championship. Your brother's got one. You don't want to compete to go win a championship like your brother. And I just think, man, there's a little, for me, what I would do, I would wait. I would get healthy. And if my team was in the playoff, I'm going to compete with my team. But that's who I am.
Well, so Tim Tebow, what exactly is it that you're trying to say? And I ask that in this regard. How should an NFL team look at Nick Bosa, based on what you just described?
I don't think it'll change the way he plays in the NFL, given because you're playing for money every day in the NFL. But in my opinion, I think this is a great kid. He's a hard worker. He's dedicated to his team. His teammates loved him. He's a captain for Ohio State. That means a lot. But at the same point, I think he's seeing dollar bills in front of him, and I wouldn't necessarily see it that way. That doesn't mean that I don't have respect for him and his decision, because it is a big decision. It's life-changing for him. But for me, I would see it as this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I'm going to win the ship with my team. I'm coming back, and I'm being the best defensive end in the playoffs, and I'm sacking Tua, and we're winning the national championship.
Yeah.
That would be
That's
my
why
mindset.
you're Tim Tebow.
Hard to imagine them winning without him, too, especially when you look at Alabama. But I just want to understand this a little better. Are you saying, because to me it's pretty cut and dried, 20, 30 million on the one hand, national title, give me the 20 or 30 million. But are you saying, look, it's more likely than not that he doesn't get hurt, like in a career-altering injury? Are you saying that one of the other factors is his brother's already making money? It's not like he's going to be on the streets if he doesn't win. Do all those things factor in for you, or is it simply that you have a commitment to your college team?
No, all of those things factor in. Listen, your brother's making tens of millions, and he could support you. Listen, he's your brother. And you're probably, even if you get injured, you're still going to be a high draft pick. But I get that it's a huge, it's a lot of money. It's life-changing. So I understand that. I'm not trying to knock him for it. I'm just trying to say that when you look back, when you're a grandfather, wouldn't you love to take your grandkids back to Ohio State and say, look, no one thought we could beat Alabama, and they had this Heisman Trophy winner in Tua Tagovailoa, but I came back for this semifinal. We were number 4. We beat the number 1 team. Like, I just believe in putting it all out there. I'm putting my chips in. You know what? If I lose, I lose. But at least I'm going down, giving everything I have. That's my ability. That's my thought process.
Stephen A. doesn't understand. Stephen A. doesn't understand. See that in the huddle, Stephen A.? That's why that man was a winner.